Expect we are focusing on investing in America on CNBC today, and Florida Governor Rick Scott has an opinion or two on that subject. He joins us now, and Governor, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in studio.
It's nice to be here.
Not all governors have a CEO background. Governors, unlike senators, are more CEOs than most people in Congress, obviously. And the buck stops where you are. We even
all
have
the decisions,
right? We even have a Delaware governor who comes in, and he happens to be on the other side of the aisle, a Democrat, but he's very conscious of balancing budgets, spending within his means, lowering taxes, being business friendly, which is different than Washington.
If you want jobs to grow, you better make sure your state has the lowest taxes, faster permitting, less regulation, less litigation. Otherwise, you got to compete with states like Florida and Texas, because we're going to do it. We're going to make it very difficult for everybody else.
See, I would automatically say that what's good for states is good for the federal government as well. What
Absolutely.
You just said, low taxes, friendly business, but you can't, I guess you can move to a different country, but hopefully people that live here aren't moving to another country. People will not grant you to take that step, that what's good for states is good for federal. But it should be the same thing. But with states, you can see, because people will move to another state immediately.
But they'll move their business to another country.
Will they move the business?
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, how much money is sitting offshore right now because our taxes are so high? April 1st, we'll have the highest corporate tax rates in the world of all the developed countries. So what are people doing? They'll pick where they do their business. You would. But I mean, your customer's not going to pay more.
Do other countries, do they have the effective tax rates? That's what people will always say. And you can't, the people that decide to dismiss what you said, they've already dismissed it at home right now, because they're saying the effective tax rate for U.S. companies is nowhere near
it's
the
not
nominal.
Just taxes. It's how difficult it is to do business.
But what do they really pay? They don't pay anywhere near 35%.
No. But it's not just taxes. It's attitude. I mean, how difficult is it to do business? What's the transportation cost? What's the regulation like? How hard is it to get a permit? It's all those things. You put all those things together, and people make decisions every day.
Only right?
Well, no. Let me ask you a different question, which is New York.
Right.
One of the highest tax districts in the country. And look at all the businesses that are based there. Same thing, by the way, Silicon Valley. You can make the same argument.
But Andrew, look at what's happening. We just picked up 2 congressional seats in the last 10 years. New York lost 2. People are moving. It's just how fast they move. I talk to companies almost every day from New York. The easiest states to go after are the companies, Illinois, New York, and Connecticut. Because one, the weather's better in Florida. Right? That makes it a little bit easier. I call and ask what the weather's like. But the other is customers are not willing to pay for companies that are in jurisdictions that have higher taxes, higher regulation, cost, permitting cost, or litigation. They're just hard. And so, does it happen in a day? No, but it happens over a period of time, and you can see it. Look at Florida, how it's grown, and look at Texas, how it's grown as compared to, how many congressional seats we picked up and Texas has picked up.
Oh no, I'm not. Clearly, the rate matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I think there's other factors that clearly get
absolutely
added into the mix.
Absolutely. I mean, and it doesn't happen in a day. Like right now, I'm trying my best to recruit as many hedge funds to Florida as I can.
And what's your pitch? If you call up a hedge fund manager, what do you say to them?
Well, first off, it's a great place to live. We have the best beaches in the world. We've got educated workforce. We're a right-to-work state. But on top of that, why would you pay 10% of your income to New York when you'd pay? Think of what you could buy in Florida. And plus the cost of living is so much lower. So first off, your taxes are high. You're going to pay 10% more. Second, it's a nice place to live. We got great schools. We're number one. We got an award for the number 1 state for teachers, as an example. So, what do you care about? You care about education for your child. You want to be able to get a job. And you want low quality.
So I'm imagining you going through these cold calls where you call up hedge fund managers, you call up other business leaders, and you try and lure them to the state. What's the reaction that you get? How often does someone say, that's something I might actually consider?
Well, our state was, when I became governor, we were just focused on people moving to the state, not focused on really trying to recruit businesses as much. But now, you'd be surprised. Large and small companies, they're receptive. It doesn't happen in a day, but we've got this morning I've got an announcement of a company up here that's going to open up something in Gainesville, 400 jobs. And it's just Time Warner added 500 jobs. They picked us to do a shared service. It's just call and you just keep solving problems. Just like in business. All I did in business was go try to solve your problem.
And I guess that's part of what you do is taking it one step at a time by talking to companies. What are some of the broader moves that you've made in the state that you think is helping you attract business?
Well, first off, I put in really great agency heads that have a pro-business attitude. That's step one. Step two is I cut the business tax out for 2/3 of the companies that were paying taxes in the state. We have a 5.5% corporate tax.
Mm-hmm.
Now 2/3 of the company paying it don't have to pay it anymore. I've eliminated 1,100 regulations. I've cut the permitting process down to make it way easier to get a permit. And then, a lot of it is just go call on people, find out what their problem is. I call on companies all the time, and, nothing happens in a day, but it didn't happen in business either. You just start the process going, solve their problem, and it's just like, do you want to have a business meeting in New York? If you're in Florida, no, because you're going to pay taxes just to come up here and do business. You pay tax for that day.